Remember, when you're building, the biggest thing, the most important thing is not have water come in. What's the purpose of having a building and you're getting water coming in and seeping in inside? Welcome back, Pack. This is Adbil and Eric here from WolfSteel Buildings. We're about to walk this project that's still going on. We still got about 2 more days to finish this project. So let's see some of the raw stuff of what's going on. What have we found? What can we do better? Let's go through like the normal construction. What could you expect during the construction of a Weld building? We're here in Canyon Lake?
No, this is Wimberley, Texas. For people that are not familiar with the area, 1 hour south of Austin and 1 hour north of San Antonio. So like we're right in the middle. Canyon Lake is not that far from here. Fredericksburg is about a 40-minute drive. Blanco and Fisher, Texas as well. Now, speaking of those towns, we actually been building a lot in this area. So WolfSteel Buildings is really popular out here in Hill Country.
Yeah, well, all over Texas, but for some reason we've been getting a lot in this area.
Yeah.
If you're in this area looking for someone, we're here to help. Now, you ready to get this going?
Let's get it.
Let's get it. There's some work going on in the background, so we'll be careful. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let's get this one going. All right, guys, so before we go inside to check out the building, I want to talk about the construction process. A couple things to keep in mind when there is a construction going on. Always keep in mind that there's going to be a designated spot where the material is going to be set, okay, where we're going to deliver. So for example, here, this is where right now we got all the gutters laid out, but all the material has been set on this side, not to obstruct. So if you are looking to get a building, especially like a weld up or a bolt up material building, always look into your property. Where could that material be where it won't obstruct, you from your daily routine? Here, this is going to be a small business, so not necessarily obstructing anyone at this point. But if it's in a residential property, something to keep in mind, to kind of plan for that. Another thing to keep in mind and plan for is that to build a project like this one, which is 2,400 square feet, this is a 40 by 60 metal building. It requires a SkyTrack and scissor lifts, okay? This SkyTrack is like 5,000 pounds, okay? So it's heavy. What does that mean? That means that if you have soft ground, if you have, grass or landscaping, we're gonna try our best not to create ruts, etc. But at the same time, we do need to be able to maneuver and work around to be able to build your project. So just keep that in mind, because you're gonna see a lot more of the I-beams that we are using, and they're heavy, okay? So, all right, guys, so one of the other things to keep in mind is, especially if you're asking for like a 612 pitch roof, you can see it's very steep. So that's why we charge a little bit more for that, because of the labor. We just gotta be a lot more careful. And what that also means, the more that we can plan and prepare our materials on the ground, the easier we can execute on the roof, okay? So that whole roof, we actually put it up all in one day. So it started today and we got it all up. Now, one of the things we did is we already set all the panels ready with the butyl tape on the ground, which, by the way, I don't see it quite often. Make sure that this gets put on, but this is highly recommended for PBR panels, okay? And basically what's happening here is this butyl tape, once we overlap the next panel on it and we put the lap screws that go on the ridges, it will tighten it up and it will prevent water from seeping in and having roof leaks, okay? When you are selecting a builder, this is the most, I know aesthetics is the first thing we look at. The biggest things to also look at is make sure that, it's being screwed on right, to prepare for and prevent water leaking. Right here, we're looking at a 40 wide, 60 foot long, so this is 2,400 square foot, a weld up metal building, okay? We did the concrete work. We started this project about, probably like about 3 months ago. We talked to our clients like, yeah, let's get this going. Okay, great. We came in, we did the grading, and then we did the concrete. We'll look at the concrete work. But so far, you know, this is a 612 pitch. It's gonna have two 14 by 14 overhead doors, and they're gonna be black. There's carriage doors. I hope the architectural plan is showing on the screen so you can check this out. It's a pretty straightforward building, but the 612 pitch really makes a standout difference, especially from the street. We are in a busy street, and I feel like the high pitches have really stood out in our metal buildings that we've been doing lately. So guys, here we have an all white building. The panels are all white, and the trims are all going to be black. That's including our downspouts that are about to be installed right now. We've already ran the gutters on this side. We're still working on the other side. We're going to be doing the downspouts all black, but the panels are all going to be white. Okay. I want to show you guys the detail that we do that's very, very different. So here, what you see here is a U-trim. Okay. This U-trim serves a purpose, and the overhead door is going to be sitting out here. So if we don't cover this 4x4 post that we're using to frame out the door, you would see like red, and you would see the steel. And a lot of buildings out there that I've seen don't have this. This is something that we do. So this detail will make this all nice and smooth, clean. Now another detail I want to show you guys is our notch detail right here. So as you can see here, we got the notch. The door is going to sit down here, and therefore no water is going to be coming in. We did that for both doors, and also there's a slope here so we can slope it out towards the approach and redirect water out. Remember, when you're building, you know, the biggest thing, the most important thing is not have water come in. What's the purpose of having a building and you're getting water coming in and seeping in inside? Which, talking about that, let's come out here. We'll come back in, but let's come out here and let's take a look at some of the windows and how we've been doing that trim work. All right, guys, and let's talk about the windows, okay? In the metal building world, or in the metal building industry, one of the biggest challenges is how do you trim a window to not have any water come in. There's many different ways. This is how we do it. We've gone through our challenges when it comes down to trimming our windows to make them leak proof from having water come in, okay? But the way we do it is a couple different situations, okay? The first thing is we don't want the window to land on a rib, okay? If the window lands on a rib, then essentially it kind of makes it hard to drain the water out. Okay, so that's one. How do we prevent that? Well, with our architectural plans that we do, especially even with weld up buildings, architectural plans, we start planning and we make sure that it doesn't land on the rib. Okay, that's one. Next, check this out.
What are you showing us?
Yeah, so right here we have a kick out, right? So it's like a kick out, it's like a canal from the J trim, okay? And it's hidden behind the 45-degree cut. And I'm gonna show you a video how the stream of that water, like how it flows, okay? But basically all the water, we want it to fall away from the window, okay? Because a lot of times what happens is that the water tends to fall right along right here and enters right here. And that's where the leakings usually happen, okay? And it's just metal. I mean, this is just how metal works. But this is a way that we have found that works very, very well for us, leaving that kick out. And we're still gonna apply the right amount of bead of just nice silicone and just leak-proof that window from having any leaking. But so far, this is really good example of what we're doing. Check out the line of screws here we did. And you can see it looks really, really straight because all this is already we pre-punch our holes.
I can't see them from here, Abdul.
Oh, you can't? Come on close.
No, because they're color screws.
Oh.
Color matching screws.
True. These are color matching screws, which is standard for our buildings.
Which serves its purpose.
Yeah, it serves a purpose, right? That way you don't have, especially in the tubular world, you're gonna get galvanized screws. That's a standard option. Color screws is an upgrade option for weld ups and our bolt ups. It just comes standard. It comes standard. Also 26 gauge panels. I mean, this is a lot more sturdier, especially if you're in Texas. The hail that we've been getting lately, we're in May right now, and we've been getting a lot of hail. This is a lot better and a lot sturdier for that. But yeah, mentioning that, we do pre-punch the holes. That way it makes it super simple and it keeps that line super straight. This is beautiful right here. Check this out. Show them this window over here too.
These are 36 by 36, right?
Yes, these are 36 by 36 windows. These are double pane windows, custom ordered. The frame is also black, so it looks, really, really nice. Come closer. I want to show the quality of the window. Check that out.
I believe he has 8 windows in his building.
8 windows. Look at the canal we did over there. The kick out. Beautiful.
Astonishing.
You want to go inside the building?
Did you knock first?
Yes. Nice steel insulated door. When you're getting a weld up building, when you're getting a bolt up building from us, I mean, we try to put the best as much as possible when it comes down to what we do. Check this out. We're gonna be doing a 1-inch spray foam on this building. Right here, you're gonna see, this is gonna be like the office space here. And then over here is gonna be more of the shop. I need to ask our salesman, by the way, out of Henny's, and the Alpha Wolves are the team that sold this project. So if you're looking for a project, reach out to them. They help this client with this project. Now for our 40 wides, remember that weld up buildings, the material that gets put in, if it's not engineered, the material that gets put in is based on the builder, okay? So if you're comparing quotes, which is good, if you're shopping around, you want to compare quotes, you want to get multiple quotes. But if it's a weld-up building, one of the things you have to really keep in mind and ask is what kind of material is being put in. Because if it's not an engineered building where an engineer dictates the material, it's the builder that's going to be dictating what material they use. We love big I-beams, okay? It's just a lot sturdier. In this case, this is a 40 by 60. We got 16 foot to the eaves, and we have 12-inch I-beams. And I can't remember the weight of it, but the weight also has to do, hopefully we put it inside, in the video, the weight of it, of this I-beam specifically, okay? But we use that, we got 6-inch purlins all the way around, and the spacing of our purlins on our roof do not exceed 4 foot. All right, guys, so our client here is gonna be getting 1-inch spray foam, okay? The spray foam is spray foam. But one of the challenges with spray foam is that it expands, okay? And because we got corrugation in the panels, usually you'll see holes. So for example, I can stick my hand out here. So one of the challenges with spray foam on a metal building is that you can have oozing come out if the spray foam guy or your spray foam contractor does not prep the building correctly to prevent that from happening. Because once the spray foam, if it oozes out, it's gonna be almost impossible to clean that out. So just keep that in mind. When we do the spray foam, there's 2 things to keep in mind. One is that we still warranty your building. In most industries, once you put in a third party after product, you'll probably lose the warranty on your building. On us, because we do it, we know what how we're spraying it, what we're doing. We still give you warranty. 2, we include something in your price, and that's what's called a foam gap enclosure, okay? The foam gap enclosure is basically something like this. It's basically a foam. This one's actually the one that goes on the roof at the peak on the outside, okay? But there's the inside closures, which you're gonna see here on the ground. So you can see this, okay? If this wasn't here, you would see some lighting. Okay, so these foam gap enclosures prevent lighting from coming in, one, and also it prevents any oozing once we spray foam from going out, okay? And we do this all along the perimeter of the bottom as well as the perimeter on the top. You're gonna be seeing a little bit of a shot. I was up there earlier inspecting that, a shot of that we run it all along the eaves, and that really helps to make sure that there's no oozing that goes out, okay? So it's extremely important, yet it is an extra cost, and I know a lot of you have asked. That's what the foam gap enclosure is. I find that is worth it.